now out here to protest and to make our voices heard about all of the police brutality that's going on in the city of Baltimore.
My name is Marcella Holloman, and on May 19th, 2012, my son Maurice Johnson was killed in my home, in my face, by Baltimore City Police Department. It could have been avoided because he didn't follow policy and procedure, because I live in Zone 13, and in Zone 13 they can do whatever they want to do in Zone 13 because they don't care about the people who live within that area, so they never follow policy and procedure when they come to Zone 13. When the police come, they come to your house like you don't matter, what you're saying to them don't matter, and they're going to come in and do what they want to do, and that's what they did, and as a result, my son is dead.
What we're about to do now, we're going to proceed over to City Hall at this particular time, and we're going to continue to chant, and we're going to continue to be fired up. What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace!
Has 7 holes in his chest. So that's 7 times. But the police are murdering African American men in alarming rates all over the whole entire United States. It's not just Baltimore, it's everywhere. And it's just amazing to me the excuses that they give for the insensitivity and the injustice of murdering somebody. If someone has a knife, you have to come awfully close to that person to even be afraid of them. That officer could have backed up, he could have stayed in his car, he could have called for help or called for other officers to come around there, shot him in the foot, he could have tased him. I mean, we could just go on and on.
I get out every day and I talk to the people in my community. I'm hearing stories of women being searched in the streets. You can't sit on your porches on a day-to-day basis. I've had police officers tell me myself that if I'm to have company, take my company in my house. Don't sit outside on my front. I've had them tell me I can't deal with the people in my community because they feel as though they're drug dealers or drug addicts, that I'm not supposed to help them. I open my door every day. If I got a computer, you need to find a job, I'm gonna help you. That's right. If it takes them raid my house every 3 to 4 years like they've done thus far, accusing me, you know, and they've always come up clear because I always come home. Because you don't have any case against me. I'll do that. Because I can't get up every day and turn my back on my neighborhood where I live. Amen. Something has to change. It has to change.
These rec centers are being murdered. That's the only thing that I can say. This is murder. Because eventually, it's going to be mayhem in the streets. These kids that have found these rec centers as home, as a safe haven, will be initiated into gangs very soon. And the man don't care. So she's a murderer. She's murdering these kids' hopes and their dreams.
And in New York, we're struggling against stop and frisk. There's a mass movement there against the policy of stop and frisk. Thousands of people have gotten arrested in civil disobediences against stop and frisk all over the city. Because what are the police? The police, they're not part of the 99%. The police are something invented by the 1% to protect them from the 99%. The police are there to make sure very clearly that when they close the rec centers and they make layoffs, they're there to make sure that we don't have the ability to stand up and fight back. The police serve and protect this system. They don't serve and protect us. And it's about time we come together, organize, and fight for justice.
They're inside. And they're inside because of your tax dollars and my tax dollars. The problem is not the electing of different officials or whatever it is. It's the system itself. This system sacrifices people for the profits for a few folks. We got to tell them that recreation centers, firehouses are human right, schools, education are human right. We don't want jails. We want recreation centers and homes and jobs for our people. This system, we look at this system, we see all this homelessness out here, particularly behind John Hopkins, whole blocks of abandoned houses.
Yeah.
We see our situation where we see jobs leaving the state, jobs leaving the country. Why are they doing that? Because it's more profitable to go somewhere else and make more money. They don't care about the lives of the people who are affected by these cutbacks. They're telling us that they don't have the money to get recreation centers, and they're snickering and giggling as they do it because they know it's there.
Yeah.
They know it's there.
Yeah.
We're not going to let them snicker and giggle in our face anymore and tell us they don't have the money.
What they're saying to each one of you parents is that we don't care about your children. I don't care if you can take care of your family. We're going to continue to do what we need to do so that our pockets get fatter and the rich get richer. So what we're going to do, we're going to stand and fight. And whatever we got to do, we're going to shut it down. We're going to come back time and time again until they get the picture, until they get an understanding, and they get that crap together. We're going to continue to fight for jobs. We're going to continue to come out and support you on the police brutality. Right now, they're sending me to trial. And when I come up for disorderly conduct for trying to do something right and better our community, they say we're going to put you on trial because we won't accept anything but a guilty plea from you. This is what I told them. Bring it on. Bring it on. But I got the community behind me, and we will fill that courtroom up, and we will shut you guys down.
And not only that, we want jobs. We want jobs. We're sick and tired of cranes going into the ground about people who live in this city behind the bulldozers. I'm just at a place right now where if the bulldozer goes down and the people of Baltimore City don't work behind the cranes, then we're just going to stand in front of the cranes and we're going to be planted like a tree, planted by the rivers of the water, and we're just not going to be moved. Enough is enough of giving big businesses tax breaks at the taxpayers' expense, but not hiring the people to work on those contracts. But we're not just here today to gripe. We got a plan, and Sister Sharon Black is going to introduce that plan.
My only purpose really is to read a very important document that came out of the June 30th People's Assembly, where 142 people had voted unanimously to hold this protest and to go forward to make sure that justice is done in this city. To Mayor Stephanie Rawlings Blake, we are writing you on behalf of the Baltimore People's Assembly to convene an emergency meeting with you and your office for the purpose of putting forward critical issues, demands, and needs that were identified by the people of Baltimore. As you are aware, the city charter mandates that the mayor and the city council must protect the interest of all its people and not just the banks and big business.
That's right.
There are 3 immediate demands that were unanimously voted on at the June 30th, 2012 Baltimore People's Assembly.
That's right.
Number 1, community control of police now. We demand community control and an end to police killings, brutality, and abuse. We were frankly stunned that when you announced a panel to pick the next police commissioner, not a single independent community representative was chosen. Not one leader of the civil rights movement or the unions was included, let alone the victims of police abuse or the representatives of the People's Assembly. Instead, the panel consists primarily of businesses and representatives who do not even reside in Baltimore. Concretely, we want the police involved in the shootings of David Yim, Maurice Johnson, Kevin Cooper, George Booker Wells III, and many of the other victims that are represented here fired and properly charged for murder or assault. We will present evidence to back this demand along with hundreds of petitions from the community. We also want the police who brutalized and unjustly arrested the 4 jobs protesters on March 29, 2012, fired and charged appropriately. The actions of the state's attorney's office in continuing this prosecution is unwarranted, unprecedented, and politically motivated. Drop the charges now. We demand a public works jobs program citywide. It must, as its first goal, target youth joblessness. 3, no recreation center closings or privatizations, no fire station closings. Firefighters need to protect us, especially in the neighborhoods where utility shutoffs are more likely and fires more prevalent. The poor need service too. And no, Mayor, we can't allow some private company to ransack any of our recreation centers. Let the dedicated staff and city workers continue to serve our youth and children. Sincerely, it's signed by myself and Reverend Witherspoon on behalf of the Baltimore People's Assembly.
Update, sisters and brothers, they are in the mayor's office, but the mayor, don't like that. The mayor has not come to speak with them yet. They are stalling. So everyone is trying to figure out what to do. Again, we stand with them that they must deliver the letter to the mayor. It's almost 5:15. We have been told that at 5:30, if our delegation, our people's delegation that truly represents the people, do not leave City Hall, they will be arrested. We once set up a jail solidarity committee to come over here and see Stephen. We hope they will be bold enough and upfront enough to bring them out the front door the same day they went in. That's right. But we know that there are exits on all sides of City Hall. So they could be the cowards that they usually are and try to sneak them out the back. So we want to keep an eye out to make sure they don't sneak them out. We want to put together a jail solidarity committee. We're going to call City Hall and demand that they be released.
Stop brutality now! 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 Stop brutality!